The amount of time 25 to 35-year-olds in the US spend watching TV has significantly fallen. Actually, not all developed countries. Now, if you are over 25, millennials, 37% fall in TV viewership. But at the same time, the numbers of hours people spend watching TV have done what? Audience has fallen, but you know what has happened? What has happened is that there's something called video streaming. There's something called video on demand. And I need it on my phone, not that stupid TV that we want to put in front. Right? I had a fight with the TV there. It's not the TV at the front that makes TV. No, it's what you are able to stream that gives you TV, good TV, okay? So I asked myself when I read this story of Goliath, I said, why are Africans trying to, for example, Africa still retains undiscovered stories, good stories to tell, good cultural science, whatever it is, good scripts for TV. But we're spending more time, even us as TAP, not focusing on where we have 90% engagement, but we want to set up brick and mortar television, the one Rachel does within TV. You can do that, but the world has left that area. There's more people now watching TV, doing their audios on the phone, and it is cheaper. You can do it out of your bedroom. So you can build revenue out of your bedroom, okay? Giants aren't what they seem to be after all, okay? Goliath was from the old technology. This kid had a new method, okay? Do you know something called a mirage? Waringa, us who plant maize, when you have too many birds, you put a scarecrow. You come at midnight when there is no moon. You bend, it bends. You stand, it stands. You actually run away, but you're running away from an empty giant, okay? So whatever is stopping your building of knowledge, you are searching, you are observing of deeper things, whatever is stopping you there, it's just standing in the way. If we work as a team and question some things, we can unlearn bad behavior and learn new concepts. The other thing that came from that story is solutions don't always come from the top. There was a king. He's scared. This newcomer is the one who has. So don't say because I have been here for 10 years, I know better. This person of the last 1 month could be the hinge on which the business stands. The second one is called a sense of courage. These things go together. To unlearn a behavior and learn a new one. For example, building character. They say character is the ability to stick with a resolution long after the excitement with which it was made is gone. Courage, they say, is not the absence of fear. It is really working with what you have and staying close to what you resolve to do. Let me share another final story to describe courage. There's a country called Chile. Where is Chile? South America. Chile used to be inhabited about 700 years ago by people called the Incas and the Aztecs. They were more civilized than Europe. Before Europe was in the Middle Ages, those guys built temples, they did a lot of stuff. But one of the resources of that country is copper. That's why there were too many miringas the Portuguese were taking at that time. On August 5th, 2010, in one mine called Copawapo, don't worry about the words, there are 33 miners. They are 1 kilometer down, 1 kilometer underground. Underground there are cars, there's lights, they are mining, that's their life. Suddenly an explosion happens and 770,000 tons worth of a rock falls off and seals the mine. Electricity, water, everything, air, gone. There are 33. They are in. They have ration lasting for 1.5 weeks. They have to survive. So a gentleman called Louis Uzua was the head of the shift. So he calls them. He says, guys, let's say our prayers, but our prayers are for living. We have to see our children. We have to see our wives. We have to go back. We will be rescued. If they don't come, we'll dig through this mountain in another way and come out. Now, I want you to imagine, this is 2 o'clock. There is no hope coming down from a kilometer down. Everything is shut down. 770,000 tons, guys. Yeah? Go and Google it. I am told it is the equivalent of the weight of the Empire State Building if it is shutting you in. How do you come out? So what Uzua did, he divided them. He said, you know what? We're going to have 3 groups. You are in charge of the food rationing. We're going to take a pear. You know what a pear is? Like an apple. And cut 33 slices. And all of us will have a slice every 2 days. We have some fish, tuna, remaining. We will have a teaspoon, each one of us, every 2 days. And we will exercise. And we will keep safe. And we will be okay. So they started singing. They removed their shirts. They said, we're coming out. We're not going to die here. Right? But who started it? Guys, leadership. It's not about when I'm happy, when everything is okay. It's Uzua. He says, we're coming out. They took 69 days. And on the surface, there's 2,400 media houses worldwide. There's a minister. His name is Lawrence Gorbon Riveros. His work is, I'm going to sit here, I'm pitching camp. Although I'm a minister, I'm pitching camp here and figure out a way how to burrow through this mountain and get my men out. He sits there, he pitches camp, he's answering the media houses, assuring them, but he's also an engineer, he's figuring out how to get there. Above him, there's a president, his name is Sebastian Pinera. These are no longer presidents and ministers. Yeah? Pinera says, my role is to support you, Riveros, to find where in the world I can get a special rig that can burrow in the safe rock 4.5 kilometers and get to these men without, you see, when the rock has fallen, everything you touch makes it worse. So, Sebastian Pinera, President Pinera, works the phones until he gets to the White House. White House, no rig. The only man who has a rig is in the state of Pennsylvania, and it can only be released with security clearances. CIA, that he says, I need it. The top guy is working with the guy who is on the mines, and eventually they sink a camera down, and they speak to who? Uzua. And he says, don't waste our time. We're happy here. Take your time. Don't worry. Tell our children and our wives we're okay. You know what that does to the families above? It's called layered leadership. Don't ignore that guy at the gate. He plays a role, right? Don't kick him. Don't ignore this presenter, because layered leadership means that we all learn to be what? Courageous when we face danger. The ability to say no to the voices that keep us down and to stick to the commitments made at the start of this year in our lives, for our clients, for our units, is going to require courage. Courage is needed to stay consistent and to push oneself to learn. I have set just 3 basic questions. The first, it says, just name 2 specific areas you commit to study more for new insights. Insights, gentlemen, is where curiosity, creativity begins. Where I commit to study for new insight. And why do I do that for the month of Feb to March for my business unit? Are we okay? Second question is, I want to name 2 areas where I think fear rather than courage have ruled me, right? Fear to do something because, I don't care. Where has fear ruled, and what actions will you take in the next 21 days before March 10th when we meet again? Why? Because 21 days is very good to learn a new behavior. Now, the final question is, name 2 specific repeatable, I put that word, repeatable. There are things you do when you get to a car, you switch on the engine, you turn, there are things which you have to repeat for the car to move. If you don't repeat them, the car can be very nice, but it's just stuck in one place.